Outstanding.
Let's make fun of him.
All right.
Longer than that, you know we're going to be discussing it at least an hour. Maybe. Fuck Kenny.
It's a pimp ass fucking hoodie.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's actually pretty fucking sweet.
If you don't know Pesci, he's a fucking character, man. Good dude. Yeah, he is. Eagle Claw for the win. Have you heard this guy talk?
No.
Sounds just like fucking Joe Pesci.
Yeah?
Be right back. We'll be here.
Barnes is fucking kicking his ass.
Yeah, he is. Barnes whooping that ass. Shout out to Shady J and the rest of the game. Hey, thanks, man. Just me and Tim. Fuck the rest of them.
Right? Spoiler alert, pussies.
Again, spoilers. Cobra-Kai Season 4. This is Sir Joseph Pesci's review on it. So, come back in 37 minutes if you don't want to hear spoilers. Nah, he said it. He's a big boy.
Round 1.
Moving away from the tournament, focus on the storyline for characters. Think.
Okay. This is my Cobra-Kai Season 4 review. Kind of got the inspiration to do this from my man Shady J over at the GameChasers, so I'm hoping he checks this out when I get it finished.
Spoilers.
But I'm just pretty much going to
Sup,
go
Fat
through
Jesus?
things I like, dislike, maybe what I would have changed, added.
Tim
I
does
got to
hate
see
me on
your
me, though.
review, Shady J. There's a lot of things I agreed with you guys, you know.
Thank you.
You know, things like Tim said about silver, all that shit, I definitely agree.
All that shit.
But, you know, start off, this shit's in no order, so it's in no order. But some of the things I did not like and liked about Cobra Kai Season 4, obviously, one of the obvious things was the whole Kenny thing.
Fuck Kenny.
Now, I hate how they wasted nostalgia parts with Kenny, like him jumping over the fence. That's like reminiscent from the Miyagi part where, you know, Daniel's jumping
First
over
movie.
the fence.
Yeah.
And, you know, he goes into Cobra Kai. Difference is Daniel gets kicked out and doesn't get to go back when Robbie, you know, mentors him. I just think if you're the whole Daniel LaRusso's kid, I just felt a lot of the scenes
What's up, Oliver?
they used for him were misplaced when they could have just did more with the characters they already had.
What's up, Jimbo?
I was like, why do they got... I knew what they were doing.
Okay, hang on. Joe Pesci, is this your actual voice? I think it is. I don't think he's doing a bit. I don't think it's
Well,
an
that's probably why
impression.
he's Joe Pesci.
Right? Probably, I would assume. What's up, BC?
Well, I understand you're trying to build for another season. It was almost like they
Two youths.
sacrificed some short shit for the
Shut the
long
fuck
game.
up, movie Mike.
Like Kenny's training. There's this guy scared of his shadow, dressing up like squirrels and shit. And then all of a sudden, it's like any kid that joins Cobra Kai 3 days later, or even maybe
I agree.
At night,
And we
they're
mentioned
at
it.
least more of a badass than someone that's not already in Cobra Kai.
That's his voice.
Kenny's having that brother in DH, whatever, the DH, because it's Juvie. And we'll get into the Robbie thing in a minute. I probably would have did something with him. Have him get out quick.
Yeah.
Maybe have that be the guy Robbie trains, and then have
Not a
these
bad idea.
No, that's good.
flashbacks. Like, one of the main things I hated with this season
Thank you,
was the
BC, putting
predictable moments.
Joseph Pesci's channel.
And what I mean by predictable moments, like, I understand it to do foreshadowing.
Can he sing like the real Joe Pesci? Ooh.
But sometimes they overdid it. Where it's like, man, it was just like with John Kreese when he was going to turn on Silver, or he didn't like what Silver was thinking, or you know what I mean. I was like, damn, John, that was quick. They just quickly went in. They're already butting heads. I think you could have let their relationship at least build a little bit.
Okay.
They're both bad guys. You know what I mean? I think it was a little too early to have Kreese and them bumping heads. But we'll get into that. But back onto the predictable moments. It was like they would show you something, you're like, oh, okay, for instance, tournament. You knew Robbie was going to lose. As soon as they showed that quick flash of Kenny was like, oh, yeah. It was just like, really like inhuman, like, chanting for him or whatever. And I think this is even before the scene in the locker room. But as soon as I saw Robbie see that little flashback, well, you knew he was going to lose. You knew something was going to happen. He was going to lose that tournament because he's starting to turn good. And we'll talk about that where he's like already starting to turn. I just think if you were going to turn Robbie back, could have been more of an action-packed moment.
He was never really all the way in
I don't
with
think
Cobra
he
Kai,
could do
though.
that crying shit at the end, or when he was crying with his dad at the end. I think he could have did something else.
Like not crying.
Someone help. Something's happening with Cobra Kai. Whether it's someone doing something to Miyagi or doing something to Johnny or whoever, and he sees this happening. And it's one of those situations where he's supposed to step up and do something. And instead of doing that, he turns on Cobra Kai. Maybe that still happens. But when Robbie just starts crying at the end, it was just like, Jesus. And then, like, for instance, you have Hawk, okay? Who's this badass? Cobra Kai badass, sticking to the program, upset about what happened to Miguel, and then Miguel, goes over there or whatever. What I wouldn't have did with Hawk, I wouldn't have had the Binary Brothers. I don't have no problem with you doing that eventually, having him have a change of heart. But I felt when you turned Hawk and had him go with Miyagi and whatever he had to train with them, or for whatever reason, I thought that was a little early. I think if I was writing it, I would have turned Hawk in the tournament. Because think about it. He never got to go against his Binary brother in a tournament. And I think after he broke his arm and their connection or whatever, I understand that song they played at the end. You could do all that still. But I think the season should have been about you're seeing the turn of Hawk maybe regretting some of the Cobra Kai things. But still, he's with Cobra Kai up to that tournament. You know how they made him lose the Mohawk? And like I said, try to I don't know if that's the writers, well, we got to teach like a kid, let's teach kids that it's not the Mohawk that made him cool. It was what's here.
It's true,
Right
though.
Up there.
It's true.
We love that. But you're killing the guy's character. You know what I mean? The fact that he beat Robbie.
He did turn into a little bitch.
And that, another thing they did wrong. I know John Kreese, they were trying to show he had having this turn of heart, which I disagreed with. I don't think it was time to make him good guy.
Binary
You
Brothers
know what I
fighting.
mean? We never seen him pay for the bad guy shit yet. But John Kreese having that change of heart where he's like, you do what you want. I didn't like that. I was waiting for the sweep the leg moment. And I think if you were going to do it in that tournament,
Thanks,
I
Nightbot.
would have had it done in the Hawk moment. For instance, I would have had Hawk stills Cobra Kai. He's told to do something. He's going against the Lurpy Kid for some reason. You know, his friend. Sorry, I don't know names.
the
Lurpy Kid, and they're like, yo, sweep the leg. He's already hurt, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my gosh.
And if something happens, like whether it's in their match or whatever, or he loses, or Hawk wins, or something happens to where he doesn't do what the whatchamacallit say.
Crease.
And he kind of gets, the senseis. And he's starting to get paid for it. And like you have the nerdy kid help him out to where he's getting beat up or something. And then that's when I think you have Hawk kind of turn who he was. I thought the Hawk progression character was done poorly. I would have never made him a good guy. And why did he have to go to Miyagi though? You know what I mean? That was quick down.
To balance, because they didn't have, I mean, I understand he shouldn't have gone, what you're saying, but they had to balance. So Cobra Kai had Robbie, Eagle Fang had Miguel, Miyagi-Do needed a guy to be able to compete to try to win the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the only fucking reason for it. But yeah, he shouldn't have been in Miyagi-Do, he should have been in Eagle Fang.
Johnny convinced him to go. He goes, I just want to go to Miyagi. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Daniel taught him anything. Daniel didn't even believe it. You know what I mean? The whole time Daniel was staring at fucking Robbie. So when it comes to Kenny, I would have never did it like that. Like, why at the end, Robbie's going against Kenny in a tournament. They're both Cobra Kai in a point tournament. How did they do the points there? In my in my 15 things you probably missed in my second part, you will watch it after this one. You'll see some of the things where I think what's interesting about the tournament and kind of some reasons why I think Miguel left. But definitely Silver. If you guys don't know who John Silver was from Part 3, what's interesting is about Karate Kid Part 3. Not the greatest movie. But it had some of my favorite scenes of all time. Like, for instance, what is the one thing Daniel LaRusso and his kids always looks that Miyagi never looked while doing karate or fighting people? And that word is awkward. Miyagi never looked awkward. This is the guy from Happy Days. And he was beating all those dudes. Best scene ever, Karate Kid 3. They're beating up Daniel. It was when, John Silver had the greatest lines that you could have in that film. Every time he almost spoke, Quicksilver, man can't see, man can't stand. There's a part where he goes to Danny, he goes, with that crane crap? Where he's training him. When Silver's training Daniel, and Daniel, when Miyagi said he wasn't going to, for whatever reason, Miyagi decided he wasn't going to train Daniel new kata. I didn't understand, I never understood that. But made for whatever the movie. So Silver's training, teaching Quicksilver, obviously was to get in his head. I mean, it made Daniel more of a badass in some ways. But John Silver had the best lines. There's a part where Barnes is beating him up, and you just hear Silver in the background go, use the crane, Danny boy. With the best, and that's the scene where he goes, go get him. And Barnes runs outside. Miyagi throws him back in, my favorite part. And then Kreese and Silver are fighting Miyagi at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And Miyagi beats them both. I always said, Karate Kid should have might as well been called Miyagi. Part 1, the Karate Kid. Because Miyagi was that guy. You all know that. You know what I mean? You know, when Daniel beat Barnes, Barnes was beating the fuck out of him. The whole fucking match. Well, let me not get too sidetracked. And, so I didn't like Hawk going to Miyagi, though. I would have did that way different. I would have turned him at the end. And Robbie turning on... You know what's funny about Robbie? So Robbie's mad at Daniel. I get it, he turned me in. You know what was crazy? And I didn't even think about this until the end. Because I remember I heard Robbie say to him, fuck himself. He goes, that's the guy I knew in juvie. And then it sank in my head. I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Robbie, you were motherfucking mad at Daniel, a guy that would have definitely put money on your books. So when I say money on your books, gave you money when you're
Not
at
wrong.
For starters, you're at juvie. Juvie's not jail. Even the top juvie is not like jail. You're going to be doing recreational activities for the most part. Yeah, you said you were fighting that dude. Even if you weren't a rat, they would have eventually separated you, motherfucker. You fight him on a daily will never happen. Never happen. Okay? You can't hide fight. Unless you guys aren't fucking making no marks. But anyway, fighting them every day. Now, Kenny would, like, so you have, and this is what I call lazy writing. So you have Robbie go against Kenny. Whatever reason they explained for that, it was, I don't care, it's stupid. But remember when Robbie all of a sudden goes, oh, yeah, you win, blah, blah, blah. And he just starts beating Kenny. But you could tell he's really fucking hitting him. Was, oh, you know, like, damn, why is he, you know what I mean?
Thank you, Anthony O'Toole.
It's funny that Robbie's losing his mind and then he loses his mind the other way. It's like, God damn, let him be evil for a little bit, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Don't turn him on just some, like, weird-ass tears where he's just like, oh, God, I trained this mother. You don't even know what Kenny's going to do yet. Like you said, he was getting his ass beat. You're the one that threatened the people that were fucking him up.
Home Alone finale.
Hawk
with
and shit.
Mac.
Somehow Hawk ended up around him and he wasn't even the one beating him up. But every other time it was, and what's with the kids at this school? It's always like, when they're having those, when they grab Kenny and they're having Daniel LaRusso's kid, hey, come on, LaRusso, show us the moves you got. What kind of kids do shit like that? There's always 4 dudes grabbing them. 4 goons. It's like, Jesus, how did he get these, Fred? And they got these in every grade level, where it's, grab them. 4 dudes grabbing a dude and the other dude. That's just like, it's like, no, you have to. Meanwhile, the biggest dude is telling LaRusso he wants to see his move. That goon kid's holding Kenny. Well, I want to see the big dude. I want to see the LaRusso kid fight. That kid can't fight. You can't tell that? What the fuck? You know what I mean? And I just thought all his placing was out of place. And you'll be like, oh, well, Pesci, next season it's going to be a big thing. Well, there would have been other ways you could have wrote in Daniel's bowling. You didn't need to have to, like, show the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're hinting that there's, like, a little love relationship. Yeah, that was clever what Kenny did to them at the end, getting them in trouble. I like that. That was Cobra-Kai-ish. You know what I mean? I have no problem with Robbie teaching him, but maybe show his growth. If this is going to be a guy, let's show his growth a little bit more. Let's not, all of a sudden, he's just going to be Daniel's bully next year. You obviously can tell he's probably going to take the goons, Daniel Russo's kid. Will be his goons next year. Or he'll make them Cobra-Kai or whoop their ass. So, I didn't like that. I didn't like the weapons thing. Because you had guys in there that didn't look like, they were like new. They were like actors you didn't even focus on, a few of them. And it's like, you did that board breaking. Why board breaking? Why not? Let's go bring that fucking shit up in part 2, the water. Or let's do like they did in Sidekicks. Remember in Sidekicks where he's like, no, you gotta light it. The dude lit it on fire. Was that Sidekicks? But anyway, yeah, that's what I
shine box.
that part, that was just weak. Weak. And when it came to the intergender there, oh, it's right now, women's league. That kind of fucked the tournament up. Not because all Pesci, you're sexist. You can't watch. No, I would have did it more like, look, Daniel's daughter and the other girl, who was fighting guys pretty much when she wasn't fighting Daniel's fucking daughter, she's fighting dudes and shit. Okay? So, you have them, and that was the thing what I meant by predictable moments. The mother, you saw that she didn't like when she got her in trouble. You knew the mother was going to try to do like a favor for her. Originally, looked like she brought her a bag of apples. Remember when fucking that whatever that girl's name was, the fucking badass Cobra-Kai girl. You're like, oh, Pesci, you're doing a review, you don't even know the names? Yeah, I'm doing a review, I don't even know the names. 'Cause I'm not no professional. I'm the 5-time. This ain't the fucking Angry Joe show. And, so, remember she threw fucking apples on the fucking... At first I thought she was gonna get a fucking job working at the,
Dealership.
car dealership. And then that was how, what's her name was getting mad? But I like how the first scene, when she was at the LaRusso table, it's like you knew Daniel or the daughter, it was both, were going to walk in and see her at the table. That's not me predictable. It's like, okay, Mrs. LaRusso, you're not going to have that original meeting, maybe off to the cut, you know, maybe at a Domino's or something, or at the car lot, you know, right in the house where your daughter, who was fucking mentally scarred by this girl's weapons and shit she attacked her with when they almost tried to kill her at school. That's why I thought when they
Pause
made
this
her
shit.
kind of...
You don't want to miss this, do you?
No.
Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
I lose the chat. Chat not talking. Some predictable moments in there for sure. I don't agree with you, Donna. Can't dine in at Domino's. I like it though. I like it. I like it. I would do my review next if it wasn't so goddamn long. This is 39 minutes. I think mine's like 50. Need more TV show and movie reviews from this guy. I agree, Sherbert. I agree. Excuse me. Me scusi.
Excuse me.
Me scusi. He said meet at a Domino's.
Alright, press play. Thank you.
Turning her
I'll take
down.
one now.
Once you knew the LaRusso's mom was going to be friends with the person that attacked her daughter, once you knew there was going to be a relationship there. Well, you knew that the LaRusso and her relationship, yeah, there's going to be a fight between the two. But you knew eventually it wasn't going to go
It's
overboard.
gonna be a tough act to follow.
If
I agree.
the mother is helping that girl that attacked her daughter, whatever. What's that fucking girl's name? I can't think of her name. The Cobra-Kai girl that obviously wins in the end, figures out she's cheating. Her and LaRusso, you obviously know they're going to be friends. This is what I mean by predictable. Remember when fucking LaRusso's daughter went and visited her old friend, the Cobra-Kai chick from season 1?
Aisha.
I was like, damn, where did she go? My mom and dad didn't want me fucking doing karate. Oh, no shit. Did you see that one little blonde kid that they fucking lured out with a cat? Oh, a cat. I'm
Yeah.
like, cat. All right, kid. Even if you did like kitties, what? Why would that?
He was spit.
Making kitty. Cobra Kai was making kitty meat. Or they brought a fake cat or something. The kid goes out there and remember Miguel's like, I don't have a cat. I don't know if that was at the end of the last season or beginning of this one.
I'll check that
But
down in a
when,
minute.
Hawk had the turn of thought. I thought you could have hinted it there, but you didn't have to turn him there. The fight that what's his name didn't go to in the LaRusso house, which I'm glad. Because it's like, back on Robbie real quick. Robbie, you were in juvie for paralyzing a kid. You know mad at Daniel for getting you turned in? Bro, you know you can't live on the run. Hey, I got 5 felonies. I know about prison, bro. Been to prison twice, okay? Had a war before. You can't live a normal life on work, and you are set up
Newark.
to go to fucking juvie and get out and be just fine. You think Mr. LaRusso wasn't gonna sit? Robbie's so stupid. All Robbie do is, Mr. Russo, I'm gonna go in here. I want money on my books, and please help me get a job when I get out of here. Instead, he held it personal.
He's
that
not wrong.
LaRusso got him fucking
He's
locked
not
up.
wrong.
Meanwhile, LaRusso would have bought him a lawyer.
What's
They
up,
could've
Justin?
Probably got the time, whatever. But Robbie, you paralyzed the kid.
Barrett, yes, the Simpsons machine works fucking beautifully, actually, yes.
This motherfucker right here. Dude.
They brought a fake cat. This guy's fucking awesome. You need this guy to do a review on Adventures in Game Chasing? No nuts. I'll send him a copy just so he will.
You were sentenced when he was paralyzed. Okay? We didn't know he was going to make the goddamn recovery. That doesn't make paralyzation any better. Or any more condemned. Well, he survived it.
This actually
No.
makes it worse.
You fucking almost killed him. I never agreed with that anyway. It should have never been paralyzed. It should have been like serious injury. Jesus Christ. I mean, how can Miguel, I mean, even though he's a great kid.
I'll turn myself in, but I want money on my books. And help me get a job.
Or whatever. I don't even know. But that was his fucking name. But as I said, damn, think about that. What he had to go through. Yeah, they made it quick. The recovery, I think that was a little too. Shit, if you're gonna paralyze a kid, let's make the recovery and the comeback a little bit more heartfelt. It's kind of like, oh, I'm at the concert, my foot's moving. Let's talk about Daniel went against Johnny in the middle of the season for rights to teach. So this one's gonna teach the kid. I hate it when Daniel's like, I gotta do it. It's got to be done. They got to learn They got to learn this. My.
Trolls, Anthony. Trolls.
They're throwing kids through windows. Daniel. They threw that blonde kid through a window. Okay, we're gonna need some backup. Get over to Lawrence thing. What the fuck you worried about?
What the fuck did you just say?
The Lawrence thing. Okay, we're gonna need some backup. Get over to Lawrence thing. What the fuck are you worried about? The scene when Lawrence was teaching the kids and he's brought the daughter to the
Rooftop.
The roof. That was dumb. What the fuck? At first it really did look, how the fuck did you make it over that roof? She made that jump. I'm like, damn, what are they turning these kids into superheroes? How did she make that? Why did they fucking drag that dumbass scene out? Why was that dragged out? I don't have no problem with her fucking joining allegiance with Lawrence, but let's not drag that out like that. You know what I mean? It was like when Silver said everybody's got a weakness. And you knew that Kreese didn't like that when Silver said everyone's got a weakness. You knew it was going to be Johnny I thought it was going to be Johnny or Silver. Because, well, what's really weird is, Kreese, if you like Johnny like you didn't you boot him out of that building? I don't know, I wouldn't let your kid go blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's about to teach your kid Miyagi-Do, which shouldn't have been done. You could have, what's-his-name, join Miyagi. It should have been more about Silver bringing in a style that Kreese wanted
Thank
him
you,
to
Anthony.
teach that he hasn't taught in a long
Appreciate
time.
you, sir. Yeah, we got troll bombed
I was
on
like,
that.
damn. You know, look, that didn't look like John Silver to me. I remember with John Silver. John Silver looked like the goddamn man. Driving around nice cars, doing this, had all the best one-liners. Use the crane, Danny boy. You know what I mean? What's better than that? Use the crane, Danny boy. Or when he goes, with that crane crap? That was great. And the Quicksilver man can't stand. You know what I mean? And, but anyway. Silver, at first I was worried about. But when they tied the ponytail behind his head, I'll tell you something interesting about the music in the next segment. Tied the ponytail back in his head. he came into that scene where he, you know, did the Easter egg from the movie, where he walked in with Robbie's training with the girl, and he said, I believe he said, man can't stand. But he said the man can't see, or one of those. And I think this shouldn't have been more about Robbie teaching them Miyagi-Do. Like, when they're like, they know all my moves. Who gives a shit if they know how? What do you mean they know all your moves? What the fuck is this shit?
That was kind of lame to me,
They know all my
too.
moves.
They know all my...
They
Yeah, that
don't
was kind of
know
lame.
what? If they know all your moves, then you know all their moves, I thought. Eagle Fang? What the finger? You know what I mean? And that Carrie Underwood shit, that shit was a joke. I didn't go into that. I remember I saw that, I was like, Jesus. I didn't understand. I like how Netflix does these big name bullshit. Hey, Cobra Kai will give you Underwood. Why wasn't she singing the You're the Best song?
Carrie
She was
fucking
singing
Underwood.
some off-the-map fucking song. Reminded me of some Ernest the Camp bullshit. Why the fuck wasn't she singing You're the Best? Never gonna be the best. When Daniel fucking, what's his name, fought? This is how I would have did that shit. I wouldn't have did that double knockout shit. You just had Daniel teach Johnny his karate. You showed him at times using it. Do something interesting where Johnny beats Daniel in that fucking, in his backyard on that mat. When that fucking shit went viral or whatever. Have him beat him with the crane. Or some move he taught. And when he beats Daniel, instead of saying, Daniel, fuck off, come with me, he fucking puts his hand out to be shook. And he shakes his hand and says, Daniel, you know what? We gotta do this together. Blah, blah, blah.
It's not a bad
And the
idea.
writers
No,
wrote some
yeah.
bullshit
Not a
there.
bad idea.
Okay?
Clipboard's killing you.
Don't be afraid
It's
to
his
have Johnny
notes.
win. I went with the crane.
He's not even looked at it, actually.
Shit. Nobody did the crane at all. The fact that they didn't do the crane, I don't know why they're, oh, that's too cheesy. Too cheesy.
So
It
Jesse
goes,
James.
hits the windows and shit, and you lured out by a cat noise. Oh, a cat. Like, you would do that at somebody's rich-ass house. You know what I mean? And LaRusso's, wait a minute. How the fuck did they even get to the pantry? You're gonna tell me your dad, after all the shit that's happened at that crib, we don't got a mother, you know what I mean? We don't got a motherfucking security system that when five of them? No alarm, no bing, no nothing. That wasn't even theirs? You know what I mean? Robbie at the end, going against that kid, that made no sense. Who'd you do it? I would have had him get beat by a hawk there, and if you did, have Priest and them mad at him at the end. Like, you piece of shit. Get rid of him or fuck him up or try to, you know, people get mad at him for losing. No one was mad, like, not even so. Show a little anger there. I know it's like, well, how do you get mad? We kind of won the end. It shouldn't have been intergender. You know, at that point, I knew when they had to watch, it was just like, not like I meant by predictable. You saw what's her name, saw that Kreese was paying them. Even though I didn't see the hit that had her lost. It's like, you really had to go there, Rob. So now she's going to do this, I didn't win a fair, LaRusso, or some bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like, man.
Yeah, she will.
You could have did a little bit more with her. I think we could have went more villain with the girl. You know what I mean? So, I didn't like that. Like I said, the Underwood, I would have had them sing that. Stingray was another predictable part. You knew he was going to hit the neighbor eventually. The Kreese. Ooh, it was John Kreese. No. No. Well, if Kreese is going to get sold, what are you going to do with that? So what, we're gonna have like Daniel's son and them have like a change of heart for a Kreese? And he's just gonna be a part of the You know what I mean?
Miyagi-Do.
You're gonna start having him teach again or some shit? You know what I mean? Or, no, Pesci, this season's gonna be about Chris is gonna want Silver. Fuck it. They shouldn't have did that. This should have been about the rise of Silver and Kreese. You know what I mean?
Okay, so he's
'Cause
saying
now
he
we're
shouldn't
not
have
going
gotten
to get to
double-crossed.
see some battles we want to see. Hulk, I would have did different. I would have had him at Change of Heart. Robbie, same thing. Him crying at the end. Obviously, is either he's full. Obviously, him and Kenny are going to meet again, or he's going to meet Kenny's brother or something. Because why they...
Some beer chases.
I call poor writing. You have Kenny get his ass beat by Robbie, and Kenny will use those as those flashbacks. He'll just flash back to when what's-his-name hit him, and there's those times in the dojo. And what's-his-name's already starting to go cuckoo, so he's just going to be like, fuck you, Robbie. You know what I mean? I just would have did it a little different. Oh yeah, the dance, thought that was poor. Let's keep the theme of karate going. And not copy up dancing movies. And the way Miguel, what's his name, staring at them like, hey, you guys motherfuckers remember this? You guys did like the swap. Okay?
The swap, yeah.
And Robbie getting so mad at Miguel in the beginning of the season. Getting mad at her. First of all, Robbie, pimp juice. I'm pretty sure, dude, Mr. Thinker, you were smart enough to know that LaRusso's daughter was never a slut. So I'm pretty sure Miguel and them weren't fucking.
Sub-Zero.
And if there is, I'm
What's
pretty
up, Zero
sure she
Christian?
plays a virgin in the...
So
in the
Corporal
show,
Donut,
Robbie.
we are watching Sir Joseph Pesci's, or Pesci the Future's, review on Cobra Kai Season 4. It's fucking gold. It's fucking gold.
Unless I forgot the time you banged her. But getting robbed.
No nuts,
mad
beer
at Miguel
chasers.
like that. Yeah, you just got out. Bro, why didn't you hear the reason why? Blah, blah, blah. Also, let's not trip out on Miguel was his chick first, and you paralyzed him. Bobby, relax. You paralyzed the kid. You think the kid just started walking again. You think he's like, first things first, I'm fucking the LaRusso guy. Getting back, that was his girl. I would have been like, damn, huh? Yeah. You know what I mean? I would have been asking Daniel for 10 grand before I would have been telling him, fuck off.
I put money on my
All you did was
books.
go to juvie. They were still in school when you got out. I went to fucking jail for a year for a half pound of weed. You fucking threw a goddamn kid, almost killed him. Paralyzation. You know what I mean? That ain't no low thing. We're lucky what's his name walked again. I wanted them to do that anyway. I wanted them to. But Jesus, the Russo kid was boring. They did a lot of lazy shit. Trying to teach a life lesson with Hawk. It's not the Mohawk. No, but what would Vader be without James Earl Jones's voice? It's not the ball, you know what I mean? It's like, let's keep everyone cool. You know what I mean? You don't have to do Hawk like that. Have him have the moment of truth in the
James Earl Jones voice.
where he's looking at his dude, his Bayerny brother, and that's when they have that moment. You're gonna have him beat Robbie? Because Robbie had a flashback of him training? Robbie,
Oh, my face hurts.
I don't understand your mood swing. You just beat the shit out of Kenny. For as much as you could in a tournament, you didn't Mike Barnes it. You know what I mean? And that was another thing with Silver and There wasn't no sweep the leg moments. And there should have been.
He said you didn't
There
like
was
Barnes.
Chris going, do whatever you want. To the girl that I can't remember her name, whatever. You know what I mean? But that dance was awful. Hawk going to Miyagi was awful. The way Robbie turning good, bad, done awful. You could have did it in a more of a scene, some kind of scene.
Mods, can I get y'all to throw down Joe Pesci's channel, please? Go ahead and like 3, 4, 5 times in a row for me. Thank you.
Maybe worries. No, don't do that. You see him turn on Cobra-Kai, and he has to fight them motherfuckers. Turn on us again now. You know, something like that, or Silver's there, or one of those moments where he loses the Hulk, and they took it a little more personal than they did. Then I did something with Kenny's brother earlier. More shit at the tournament. That's what I would have had people have their moments of turning. More villain moments. Fuck Carrie Underwood. I'm pretty sure that's it. But overall, what Cobra Kai did was what it was supposed to do. Because you do want to see next year.
Yeah?
You might be a little upset with
true.
What they got.
It's true.
How they took us there.
Thank y'all.
Stay tuned for the things you missed part. And shout out to Shady J. Give this a watch if you can. It's a little long. But maybe watch it in parts if you can.
It's fucking gold.
And, but like I said, Cobra Kai, we're going to be watching next year.
Yeah.
The
Facts.
cheating at the end. Wasn't a fan of that. You know, he knew she was going to get good. They hinted that when she met the curly-haired girl, and she said, I met a bully, and we became best friends. I just told you that eventually they're going to be best friends. Jesus Christ. Already? You know what I mean? It was like Robbie. It was like, Jesus, dude. You paralyzed. What's his name? You went to juvie. Short timer. Juvie.
Short timer.
And you're mad at him for getting back with his original girl? Who's not even banging him yet? We'll see you next season. You did that.
He said, forget about it. I gotta say, in a word, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
In a word, fucking amazing.
Oh, shit.
This guy. Alright, by popular demand. This is only 13 minutes long. That's good. It's good. We're going to do Sir Joseph Pesci's Easter eggs in Cobra Kai Season 4.
Okay. This next segment is actually inspired by my man Shady J over there at the GameChasers channel.
Hey.
These are the things you missed, or Easter eggs, whatever you want to call them. Some people from the PWO brain department helped me with this. Some of them I found myself. Some of them were from just recently watching
glad I inspired.
clips. For instance, when Silver was announced, if you type up, like, you know, best of Silver moments from his old movie, he's got a lot of great lines. Guy's always had great lines for a movie that's not even...
Mariano, best closer ever.
He was in a movie that was probably, I don't know how people look at it, part 3, but I always liked it. But he had some of the best lines. But here's some of the things you might have missed. Starters, the music that was played when Silver's tying the ponytail on the back of his head. This one was easy to find because when he's tying the ponytail on the back of his head, and at the end when John Kreese is going to jail, the music that's being played is actually the music they play in the movie Karate Kid Part 3 when they introduce Silver, when Kreese is coming in his house.
I didn't catch that.
And he goes, you know, I'm looking for Mr. Silver. And he goes up and he sees him working on his karate. Well, the song that's playing then is also played in then. From watching John Kreese clips, John Kreese and Silver's clips before the season, a few here and there, when I was showing people a couple of my favorite parts in Karate Kid Part 3, I heard the music not once but a few times. So when they started playing it in Cobra Kai, I knew there was it was very
13 from the 80s, 86 Mets. Cinderella team right there.
Believe it or not, Johnny's working in that building. It says Weber, really giant. At first I thought it was a director's name, so like I started like looking at it. But my buddy actually informed me that Weber was going to be the original name of the character in Karate Kid. before Daniel is surname, like it was going to be Daniel Weber. And when Daniel was casted, Ralph Macchio, excuse me, and, you know, he had the Italian descent, they decided to go with LaRusso. I didn't even know LaRusso was a big-time Italian name, but that's what they said. So, also,
which team I think Randy
Rocky V
Johnson did his best in.
director, this is something I've known for years. They brought this up, but it was really obvious when
Arizona.
Johnny was doing the references.
It's with them the longest.
Rocky V guy also directed Karate Kid. And you hear Johnny tributing, I don't know if it's called tributing or whatever, but there's Rocky references everywhere from him and Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Johnny was training, there's some Rocky references there. You know what I mean? And the nerd kid, he has his laptop pulled out in the scene when they're doing a background check on Mr. Silver. They just want to see who he is.
Dimitri.
And he goes, all I can find is something about toxic waste.
Right.
Well, there's a scene in Karate Kid Part 3 when he's in the bathtub. Epic scene. You can find him and all these different people make little short clips.
The
It's in
bird
there.
clip?
One of the things
Oh, yeah.
he's got like a little secretary there. One of the things he's talking about, trying to cover up, is a toxic waste thing. I don't exactly know how much detail there was, but I remember from the clip he's bringing that up, and that kid, that was actually a friend of mine, Gary, helped me with that one. So, there we got that one done. There was also real life daughter of Daniel LaRusso was in that. That at the
Didn't know
end
that.
of the season, kind of like when they're punishing the son, you see her. She's like she came to dinner. She's like a family member of the family, or I don't know who she played in Daniel's. And I'd have to go back, but I
Okay.
think it's the sister or
Interesting.
whatever of him, or someone in the family. But anyway, that's Daniel's real life daughter.
The one that was the
We also have the Eye of the Tiger.
Psychiatrist?
Believe it or not, Eye of the
I
Tiger.
don't think so.
I think they were playing Eye of the Tiger in this reference. The person who wrote Eye of the Tiger also wrote the song "You're the Best." Never gonna have a
I didn't hear Eye of the
Yeah.
Tiger, but
Well,
it was Hearts
that
on
was gonna
Fire
be the original, believe it or not.
from Rocky.
This was something that I remember from
Thank you,
the
BC.
90s. Shit, they would bring up like "Did You Knows?" The Rocky
Thanks, Nightbot.
wrote "Did You Know?" Or, excuse me, "You're the Best." They wrote that song, the Rocky 3 people, whoever that was. But they decided to go with Eye of the Tiger. So I don't know, and obviously...
Okay, blood,
the
if your new
connections with all
medication,
Rocky,
they
you
jacked
can
me
see how
all the
they
way
got that
up. I
song
have a bruise
down
going
the
all the way
line.
up to your forearm. Yikes. Sup, by Riz? I didn't hear Eye of the Tiger
so
in
this
season
is
4.
an interesting one that I found. I was like, at first, I looked back and then I thought I found something I didn't find. And when I looked back, this is what I probably would like to ask some people about. So I remember and it was kind of in the boring scenes too, though, of this last season, but I guess it was, the reason why they were talking about it is they're trying to do their little stupid Easter eggs. But Miguel watched for some weird reason, I don't even know why they brought it up, but Miguel watched Top Gun with Daniel.
With Daniel, right.
And Johnny was kind of, saying he don't like Top Gun, this, blah, blah, blah. And I remember from watching a prior season before a new season start, he's watching a plane movie. At the time, I thought that was Top Gun. I wasn't even paying attention.
Iron Eagle.
So I thought, wasn't Johnny watching Top Gun? Is he lying about liking Top Gun or whatnot? So I go back to watch that scene or whatever. It took me a couple episodes to find it, but I kind of got interested in finding some other shit I didn't know. And when the scene came on of Johnny drunk watching this show in his apartment, it turned out it wasn't even Top Gun. I didn't know what it was. I had to show somebody.
Iron Eagle.
It
Iron
turns
Eagle.
out the movie he was watching, that I guess he's a fan of, you learn, is Johnny Loves Iron Eagle. It came out the same year
And Iron Eagle, too.
of Top Gun. And so I think
That's on
Johnny
the early
and I
10s.
figure
Verlander, Scherzer,
Daniels-
Tigers that won the big
That's
one
probably
before
why I
breaking
put
things
that in
up.
there, always,
Underrated
like
team
the
that went to the
difference.
World Series in 12
This
and
one was
ALCS, but
only
no rings.
because this next one
Verlander, Scherzer
was
were
an interesting one that I found only
badass.
because I was
Scherzer
watching
still
a lot
kind
of
of
the
is.
clips from the tournament fights. Like I was showing people the
Stratomatic?
Silver bringing, Mike Barnes out.
You getting what you want?
I never really
On me
was
at
the greatest
Valentine's
fan
Day
of
at
that
Olive
scene
Garden,
from
dressed
cartoon
nicely.
fight scene. But in
I'll
part
honk
1,
outside your house at
Johnny
8, says
is
Leatherface.
running to his coach or whatever, or something. He's coming out. I don't know if it's in the beginning, but I remember, I'll have to pull up the scene, but someone screams at Johnny and calls him a cream puff. And it sounds like awkward, almost like an add-in. Now, this is in the 80s movie or whatever, but it was really loud. Obviously, they wanted the people watching
First
to see
movie,
it.
Johnny,
Well,
your cream
Johnny
puff.
actually calls Miguel a cream puff.
Okay, interesting. Did
He didn't
Pesci
want
leave? I don't
Daniel's
know.
defense to turn him into a cream puff. That was the exact thing. Now, this one, I had to do a little homework on because I didn't know what I was seeing. I just thought maybe they did it because it's a good book or
What's up,
something.
Spencer?
But Silver's reading a book called Leviathan. When I paused it and saw Leviathan, at first I was like, yeah, I figures he'd read it. Now, it's a very famous book, but I remember reading it in prison. That was the only reason why it caught my eye. But I was like, I wonder if they're just doing that because it's a good book. Like, if they were doing a kid's movie, they'd have green eggs and ham open or whatever. Now, when I saw that Leviathan, I didn't know what was going to happen to Kreese at the end. If you learn about the book Leviathan, obviously it's much more about what I'm about to say now, but it's kind of strategically a war kind of book. It shows how people took over things or an individual. You'd have to go back and do it, but it kind of is foreshadowing. That book foreshadows what he did.
Interesting. Okay.
You know what I mean? That's without a doubt. Because when you think about it, if you look back, I'm like, when he's reading this book, I'm thinking he's like putting it with Cobra-Kai, but when you look at what he did to Kreese, yeah, that's a connection right there. Civil War, we got that.
Keep it cool, Spencer.
Oh yeah, eagles don't have fangs. They were called the eagle fang. Daniel says that thing to Robbie at the end, and this one, it's one of those learning moments. He says, "Don't never put passion in front of principle." Obviously, when you type up, did Miyagi have some of the things Daniel would say? Obviously, a lot of people knew he was saying shit that Miyagi taught him, but Miyagi definitely said that one as well. So that's something Miyagi would. Oh, interesting one right here for you Miguel fans. You know what I said earlier? I didn't like how they did the Miguel thing and everything. Not a big fan of it, but I wonder if they would bring, this is kind of like a maybe, but if Miguel doesn't back out of that fight, true story. You could say he backed out on his friends or whatever. I don't know if he'll come out and say this. But technically, if he would have fought in that and won, and LaRusso's dojo wasn't able to get those points, even if Miguel won out. Because as you saw, it didn't matter. Hawk beat what's his name and the girl thing. They needed those points. Miguel's a smart guy.
Yeah.
They did kind of bring up something to that girl. She was saying it. I don't remember if Miguel was out then.
Cobra-Kai would have.
But
Well, they would have
technically,
won. Period. They did win, but
I don't know if this is just an accident, but the points add up to where if Miguel would have beat Hawk, they would have been fucked anyway. Silver and John Kreese would have been singing the dance. That's why when they split those two teams up, probably wasn't the smartest idea.
nope.
Especially if you guys' goal at the end was the same thing. And, got them even, okay, so, oh yeah, interesting. That boat, I don't know if this is a trope or an egg. Guessing that boat he threw up in when Daniel said, not the boat. I'm guessing that was the boat where Daniel was learning with Miyagi.
I think it was 100%.
And Miguel fell in the water. I know a couple people that in another scene that fell in the water.
I mentioned
but
that
Miguel fell in the water, and Daniel made a little cheap comment to him. Miyagi
Right
made
behind the ears.
pretty much the same comment to him when Daniel fell in the water.
Mm-hmm.
The credit. So I don't know if that's a
They would have
connection
been
with
fucked
that,
anyway.
but you know how these things do. And this one, actually, a buddy told me about the wine bottle. That, what's his name, did that little...
I know what he's about to say. I don't think I mentioned this in our video, but it's Robert Mark Kamen, who originally wrote the first 3 Karate Kid movies. He has a winery now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think it says Kamen on the wine bottle. Whatever it is, it's Robert Mark Kamen's winery.
Sweet kick, silver, when he was like starting to feel it again. Does he still have it? The original Karate Kid guy. I thought it had to do with the cellar. I didn't realize it was they actually showed the bottle. But the original Karate Kid guy owns a wine something.
Yeah, the writer.
It's his factory or field or something. But he owns something to do with wine. And that's pretty much my tropes and Easter eggs.
Seen a couple
I hope you guys enjoyed them. So, Shady, I want you to grade this review in your opinion. Tell me if you think it's good. So, shout out to the Game Chasers. Go see his movie.
Thank you.
And you can go hard on this. You know what I mean? So, that'll take us to the end of the review. Thank you very much.
I think you brought up some things that I didn't mention.